You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Harry Buffalo. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. It's that simple.
Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby.
Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia, and Sports Fix on social media. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
Hi, I'm Hector Marinero. You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
Oh, man, behind the scenes, it's going crazy. You may imagine that. There's a few things going on here, man. It took me a minute to get with it here. Welcome into the Sports Fix. We're live. We're rolling. And when I say live, I mean we're live today, which means we're all over the place. As you can guess, the Browns, within the first 45 minutes of today's show, will make things official with their quarterback decision. Word starting to break out here early this morning, though. All signs point towards Brian Hoyer being the starting quarterback, as he should be this week for the Browns and the situation that they're in against the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to get into all of this here momentarily. I'm going to open the phones because I've had you guys hitting me up all the last 24 hours. It's been crazy. I've got tons of social media comments to filter through here, phone calls coming in. We're going to open the lines early. We're going to get it rolling here because a lot of people have a lot of things to say here this morning. As once again, hopefully this one has a good ending here. Waiting for the Papal Tower, the smoke over there in Berea. But early signs and things being confirmed here. Brian Hoyer will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns as they let these guys finish or attempt to finish what they started. And really, if you go back to what we were saying yesterday, and I can't say it any easier than this problem solves itself probably in the next 2 weeks. I mean, really, it's going to solve itself one way or the other. And that's the best, most natural way for this thing to take its course, which is you allow Brian Hoyer to start this week. He knows, hey, listen, you don't have to get any more message through to him. He doesn't need it. If he does, then he's not going to get it. And he's an Ignatius guy. I'm pretty sure he's got the intelligence to understand where he's at right now, where this whole thing is at right now. And it has nothing to do with Hoyer versus Manziel. It has to do with the Cleveland Browns, their present and their future. Their present right now is still there. And that's the reason that Brian Hoyer is going to be the starting quarterback this week. Unless, hey, listen, 40 minutes from now, we could get the curveball from Berea that this whole thing changes. But assuming that something like that doesn't happen and going forward with the thought that it's going to be Brian Hoyer, to me, again, it solves itself. If the Browns go out here and play well this weekend and win the game this weekend, then you've answered your question right there, because Brian Hoyer will continue to be your quarterback and you can continue to chase the division. And really the divisional aspect, as we were getting into yesterday, is what makes this different than just looking at the wild card, because again, I don't think the North is getting a wild card. It's not going to happen. I don't think, the way this thing's going to come down to the final week of the season. So looking at things that way and knowing that you have 2 divisional games remaining and there's a game and a half separating everybody. That's it. I mean, there's not even multiple people separated by different levels. That's it. It's Cincinnati and everybody else. And there you go. Somebody's going to win that thing. Everybody plays each other at least twice down the stretch here within the division. It's going to be fantastic as far as thrilling to see who wins that. But again, you answer your own questions. The Browns play well. The Browns win. Hell, the Browns play poorly and the Browns win. It doesn't matter. That's something that I keep going back to for the last 4 weeks when people, and it doesn't take a lot to point out the things that Brian Hoyer and other parts of this offense have done poorly, and yet they've won some of those games. That's where I go, but why is this being washed out of the equation? And you can quickly snipe at me and say, well, they're doing it in spite of him, and I will answer right back and go, why couldn't they do it in spite of anybody else? I'm just saying. Maybe I'm not 100% right, but maybe you're not 100% right there with that evaluation either, man. There's more of a happy medium there, of course, being fair about the whole thing. But the problem answers itself in the other direction, too. Brian Hoyer's very well aware of what happens. He gets pulled out of this one. There's not going to be any going back because he'll get pulled at a point where the game is lost. And if the game is lost, that means the season is over as far as looking at your veterans. And this is the main reason that Brian Hoyer is going back out here, because Mike Pettine looked at his locker room. He polled his veterans. He talked to everybody, the guys that he needed to talk to around this team, and he knows that Brian Hoyer still has the locker room. He doesn't have to have you. He doesn't have to have me. He doesn't have to have the media. But Brian Hoyer still has his locker room, and that locker room was told at the beginning of the season that they had a goal, and that goal was to compete for a playoff spot. And they're competing, and they have the opportunity to win it. And I think that, I'll tell you what, looking forward to me, if you're a Browns fan, I think this decision should make you feel that you're in good hands with a head coach, regardless of how the next week or two go for the Browns this season. Because, to me, this was a gutsy call by Mike Pettine. Again, like it was in training camp, to go this way when the whole world is pushing you to go in the other direction. That means that he'll stick with what he does. And as a player, as another player in that locker room, guys, and this is where I'm talking to you Browns fans and people that want to see the team do well regardless of who the quarterback is, just think in the future when the credibility that Mike Pettine is giving himself within the locker room for guys knowing that, hey, when this guy tells me something, I'm going to get the opportunity. At the same time, I definitely think that he sent a message to Brian Hoyer, message received. It is, go out there and do it. You can talk it. You can say it. You got us this far. I'm not going to bail from you, but that's it. I mean, this is what we got to do. And this conversation, again, goes a completely different way if the Browns lose. That's where I said, again, this solves itself. If the Browns lose, no matter if Hoyer plays well, Hoyer can throw for 500 yards. If the Browns lose and they're officially eliminated from playoff competition, Johnny Manziel at that point starts whatever games are left. And I've said that from preseason. When this season is over, whatever games are left belong to Manziel because you start getting ready for the future. And so that can answer itself this weekend too. The Colts can answer that question for you. Brian Hoyer can answer that question for you. But Mike Pettine can look at his locker room, and his locker room can go home and tell their wife, hey, man, Coach is a stand-up guy, man. I'll tell you that, man. He gave us the opportunity to go out there and do what we did, and we fell short. So now the organization has the responsibility to start getting ready for the future and finding out what they've got in this kid and so on and so forth. And to me, if the Browns lose on Sunday, Brian Hoyer would be the first one in line on Monday to go, Coach, go do what you got to do, and I'll help you do this the best that we can, because he knows where the team is looking to go. They got to find out. But that's a conversation for when you get there. And I don't think it's fair. I know all these Browns fans out here that are used to these 12 and 13 win seasons that are all disappointed in this 7-win season so far. I'm not saying be happy with where you're at. I don't think the Browns are happy with where they're at, because if they were, I think they'd have trotted the rookie out there this week and said, we can go 7-9. We can go 7-9 and be happy because everybody got to see Johnny Football. He didn't. He went with to me, the decision that he can look at his veterans, he can look at his locker room and say, I gave you what you asked for, the opportunity to do what we set out to do as a team. And this lets you know that you can trust me 100%, because in the middle of the season, I'm not going to turn my back on. Now, there's a difference between blind loyalty, and I don't believe that that's what this is. I 100% believe that that man believes that this was the best decision for the team. He did not make it out of some blind loyalty to a football player. He's not going down with Brian Hoyer's ship. You know what I'm saying? He truly believed that that was the best decision, because for you guys, you cannot, a lot of you get a hold of me. I was telling somebody this before the show. A lot of you guys get a hold of me and say a lot of different things that we talk about as far as the dynamics in the locker room. And I tell you guys, you know, what I know of with the relationships within the locker room, some people will tell me that doesn't matter. But I'm telling you that those things matter too. And Mike Pettine took all of those into consideration when he went about making his decision here. And again, it's that locker room too. Not everybody in that locker room is like some of you listening. Many of the media dying to cover Johnny Manziel. Not everybody in the locker room is, or else this decision would have went a different way. Mike Pettine knew that in his mind, this was the best decision for the football. And that being said, I'm with that, because for the first time since maybe Marty Schottenheimer, in my opinion, we have a head coach who is not just going to be a function and a tool of the front office. It's been a while. Now, that's my thought on that, because to me, the easy way is to throw Johnny Football out there, let everybody forget about everything else, and that distracts from the last month of the football season, and I got a free pass for 2015 if I'm a head coach. Instead, to me, while some people may say that was the easy way out, I say that was the hard decision, because everybody in the world, and maybe your boss, wanted you to go with the other guy. I got the phone lines absolutely blowing up. I'm going to open them up now. We're going to get to it. This show may go in a lot of different directions here as we roll on, so just sit tight with us. We have Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTryWinLastNight.com going to be joining us here in just a few moments. We were going to talk about some 90s Indians with him. This year's Indians. We'll talk about the Browns quarterback. He's like, hey, man, I got some take on this, too. We'll talk about all of that with Mike. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fans going to be here talking about the Browns, the quarterbacks, the playoffs for football in both directions. Will the Buckeyes get to that Final Four? We'll find out. They've got a Big Ten title game coming up, and Cardale Jones, all of that. We're going to get into it with Dan Wismar. Cavaliers played last night. Phones are absolutely blowing up. You guys sit tight. As you know, we can only take these one at a time, so I'm going to take the call. As I get done with one, the next one, feel free to fire it up, and we're going to roll through this, and I'm going to go with you guys for a while here before we roll anywhere else on the show. 216-539-7535 is the number to call. Matter of fact, let's introduce this thing. I think we got right to rolling because we hit the ground running today. This is the Sports Fix. I'm your host, the Big Daddy on the microphone, J-Rock, Jerry Myers. Man, hopefully you know that. Otherwise, you just spent 14 minutes listening to some guy that you don't know who he is talking about the Browns quarterback situation. So, and again, hey, a lot of people you don't know who they are chime in about the Browns quarterback situation. I am J-Rock. I'm the Big Daddy on the mic. This is our deal here, the Sports Fix. We do it each and every day at noon, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network on TuneIn and TuneIn's radio app, on Spreaker and Mixler, and of course on our website, thesportsfix.net. Make sure you bookmark that today. It's got everything you need and a live sports headline ticker as well right there, thesportsfix.net. Welcome in as well everybody listening on digital delay around the world 24/7 on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, all the places that you download, feed, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for doing it. As I said, phones are open, 216-539-7535. If you can't get through, you can leave a message, of course, on the message line, or you can hit us up on social media, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixcle. Email thesportsfix@AOL.com, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixcle. Email us thesportsfix@AOL.com. All right, I'm going to the phones. Caller, kick it off right here on the Fix.
J-Rock.
Caller, what's up?
It's your favorite caller from Northfield Village.
The mayor. What's up, my man? Vic, how you doing,
My
buddy?
God, I am so I was chomping at the bit for 15 minutes.
I know.
And you know I think what's coming, so just let me do my little act here, and
Do
then
it.
you can